it's Jaxi Edits here, and I will be teaching you Cinema 4D. So, first of all, before starting Cinema 4D, we have to know the system requirements of Cinema 4D. So, if you look carefully, in terms of CPU, AMD or Ryzen based 64-bit processors, which is on 3 gigabits or higher. Generally, you will need a i5 or a Ryzen 5 processor to go ahead in Cinema 4D. And as per the RAM requirement, the minimum requirement is 8 GB and 16 GB, but not below 8 GB. 32 GB will be more than fine. And if you're talking about GPU, NVIDIA Maxwell GPU, generally GeForce 9, but I will not recommend you to go with 900 series. You will go for 1660 or higher than that. That will be good for you. And here it's mentioned that you can also do on Radeon cards, but I don't prefer doing Cinema 4D on Radeon cards. Okay, because when you will deal with redshift and other things, ray tracing things, then it will not worth it. And as you can see, I think Cinema 4D, you can use Cinema 4D in Linux too nowadays. I think maybe you should have checked that. And talking about the hard disks, you need a minimum of 256 GB or 500 GB, but I don't prefer going with the hard disks. Okay. Instead of that, you can go with SSD, which is minimum of 256 or 500 GB. That will be perfectly fine for you. Okay, so let's start with our first class, which is the interface. Okay. So as of now, let's see. This is the interface of Cinema 4D. Okay. So as you can see, here we have few tools, here we have few tools, here we also have tools, and here it's called the object manager. As you can say, if we take any shape, let's see a cube. Okay, so if we take any shape, it will appear here. Let's say I have taken a cube, then I will taking a cylinder. It's a cylinder. Let's say I'm taking another cone, and it's also visible. So generally here, if you make any shape or something like that, it will appear here. Okay. So if you want to go to properties of any shape, okay, suppose this is a cube and you want to go to the properties of cube. Okay, let me clarify first that. So here in file, you can see all of your recent works and you can save your files or export something. Okay, so generally what I was saying was this shapes. Okay, if you are dealing with these shapes as like any other 3D software, if you know or you probably don't know, these are the three axes. Okay, these are the three axes. The red one, it's the x-axis. The green one is the y-axis, and the blue one is the z-axis. Okay, so the red one, you can also remember it by R, G, and B. X, Y, Z. Okay, like that you can remember it. So if let's suppose this is a cube, and here we are having the attributes. Attribute generally means the property of any shape. Remember one thing, that every shape has different attributes, different properties. If you see here, I am in cube, you can see there are three sizes, x, y, and z. Okay, but if I click on cylinder, you will see there is a radius. Okay, this is the radius. If I increase the radius will appear like this. Sorry. And one thing I want to mention, that if you are moving, if you want to move like this is pan movement. If you want to do this, by clicking one, you can move like this. Okay, And if you want to zoom in and zoom out, then you can use a scroll. And if you want to rotate, let's suppose like this. There's a difference between pan and rotate. This is pan. Okay, this is called panning. This is zoom in, zoom out, and this is called rotate. And if you want to rotate, you have to hold three, three on your keyboard. Then you can rotate like this. Okay. So I want to tell you a thing, which is if you want to pan, always press one. It is very easy. Okay. Always press one and then left click on your mouse and drag like this. Again, if you want to rotate, press 3 on your keyboard and you can left click like this and drag left or right, it will rotate. Now the third thing I want to say is that if you want multiple views, let's suppose you want a view like a top view, a front view, a right view, a left view, like that. In order to do that, you have to press your middle button. Here you pressed your middle button, and here you can see is the perspective view. Okay, and here is the top view. Here it's written is the top view. This is the front view and it's the right view. And if you look at the top view, then you can look the object from the top like this. And here you can also press one and pan like this, three to rotate, and you can scroll your means you can use your scroll mouse button to zoom in and zoom out. So the thing is that in the next class we will know how we can scale these objects, how many shapes we can make with these objects, and how to deal with these objects. I mean, there are several objects you can see here. One is there is a figure. Yeah, that's interesting. And there are many more shapes. You will love this software. This software can literally do anything, anything related to motion simulation or whatever you want in 3D.